Hello, you sentient ball of stardust. My name is Casey Davis. I'm a therapist, and I'm an author of the book How to Keep House While Drowning, where I talk about ways to make it a little bit easier to take care of yourself when you're overwhelmed, stressed, have mental health issues, physical health issues, or maybe you're just in a hard season of life. Maybe you're looking for a place that you can come and listen to some practical advice. This is a podcast for all of the self-help rejects. We're going to talk about skills for survival and self-kindness. And I'm going to leave the pop psychology at the door. I promise not to tell you to meditate or to journal. We're just going to give you some really insightful conversations with hopefully some practical advice. So I don't believe you need to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I don't want you to just try harder, and I don't believe that laziness exists. So join me over on Struggle Care, where we can find compassionate solutions that help us function a little bit better.
New on Curiosity Stream.
I'm James Burke. I'm going to take you on a journey through time.
James Burke's visionary series returns, reimagined for our time.
Now, this is all uncharted territory.
The Washington Post hails Burke as one of the most intriguing minds in the Western world. The New York Times raves he careens from one great moment in history to another.
Where do we want to go from here?
Experience all new Connections.
So what's the next connection?
With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at CuriosityStream.com.
Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Hey guys, it's me, your girl, Elena Grace, and you're listening to another episode of I've Been Thinking. You're, in fact, listening to episode 99 of I've Been Thinking. I am so thankful for all of my listeners, everybody who has given me this opportunity to create 99 episodes of this passion project podcast that I just have so frickin' much fun doing. And that's what this episode is kind of about, okay? And I'll explain. So if you know me personally or follow me on social media or follow my personal social media or you follow the blog, you'll know that I have kind of been sharing lately about traumatic experiences thanks to family members. And I'm not gonna go too in depth about it, but Adam and I went to Kentucky 2 weeks ago. We flew back home to NKY and we were there for some family stuff, and I just had one of the worst weekends of my whole entire life thanks to, somebody who is supposed to love and respect us. And it was really, truly awful. And some people might think I'm dramatic, and that's fine. I even doubt myself sometimes, and I'm like, I'm probably being a little dramatic about this, but it was really awful for me. So I'm really struggling with recognizing that my emotions are valid and I'm allowed to take it as seriously or not as I want to. And I do take it really seriously. And frankly, I'll speak to that person at their funeral, or potentially, if I stumble across them in hell, I might speak to them then. If I see them in hell, oh, it's going down. We're yelling timber, okay? Anyway, so the point is, I've just been really, really struggling with the lingering effects of that. And I will tell you this, though, first of all, I have never been so excited to get on an airplane in my whole entire life. And I've been some pretty cool places on an airplane. Getting on that airplane at CVG, coming back home, that is the best flight I have ever been on. Let me tell you. Also, we took Winnie with us, just a little fun aside, and she was really good, actually, for her first 2 flights ever in the world. Yeah, she was really good. But yeah, that first week of being home after that, I slept like a little baby every single night because I was safe, finally. I wasn't in this chaotic, what's the word? I wasn't in a house that felt dangerous anymore. I wasn't in this situation where I was scared that at any moment this person was going to verbally attack me again. And eventually he did, come back and attack me again and make it a whole thing. But once I got home, thank God, I was able finally to relax. So I slept like a little baby child. I still had some tears to cry, but it was really from all of the adrenaline that had been in my body from Saturday night to the moment I got home. The moment our plane landed, I was able to feel better. And getting on that plane was really a really big step, though, in feeling better and feeling relaxed for me, because I was physically distancing myself from that place and that person. And frankly, I don't know what is going to happen with that. Like I said, I'll talk to that person in hell, but just kidding. They'll be there. I won't. Although my heaven might be making their eternity hell. Is that backwards? Is that wrong? Anyway, so, so able to relax, able to come down from where I'm at. All of the adrenaline in my body was finally leaving. I was finally able to feel safe. I was finally able to feel that my puppy was safe, because God knows he'd be fine with watching her get hit by a car. So yeah, I'm finally able to decompress. And through that decompression, I've been realizing just how that whole situation has affected me, possibly for a longer term. But also it has brought up some other things from past experiences that I'm just like, oh, I thought I had repressed that, but now this has brought it all up. That's not what I wanted. So we'll see how that goes. But long story short, that's the tea. That is why we don't have a regular guest episode this week, because frankly, I wasn't in the place to record and edit an episode with somebody and put the effort into it that it deserved. So here you are getting this half-assed episode of me giving you a life update. But this isn't just going to be a life update, okay? So I also really wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about, since it's episode 99, since it's kind of a big deal, I want to talk to you about what I've learned over the course of the podcast. So it's been 2 years. I did not have a birthday party for it this year like I usually do. Like I did last year, I guess. Because frankly, I just forgot. Life is a lot. Life is exhausting and life is overwhelming, and it's hard. It's hard to do by yourself, and it's still even hard to do with a partner. And it's hard to work a full-time job, paint and try to, make it as an artist, and also have the podcast that I'm still running entirely by myself, doing the editing, the recording, the scheduling, the videos now. I'm doing all of that by myself. It's fucking hard, okay? So, yeah, the birthday got away from me this year. And a lot of things get away with me. That's why we're at 2 episodes a month now instead of once a week. I would love to be once a week again, but, I'm just not at a place right now where I can viably do that. Anyway, tangents today. So over the 99 episodes of the podcast, wow, what have I learned? That was kind of my prompt for this episode, to get myself thinking, to get myself reflecting. First of all, I have learned that I'm so grateful people enjoy me telling them fun facts. I love a fun fact. If you know me personally, you know that. I love a fun fact. So the fact that people will come to me, even somebody told me the other day, he said, "Hey, Elena, I just listened to your episode about the history of the nail industry in the U.S. And that was really interesting. That was really fun to listen to and really interesting." I was like, holy shit. Thank you. Like, that means so much, especially because obviously that's an older episode. I don't even remember off the top of my head what number that was, but that's an older episode. I mean, it was so much fun for me to research and to learn all about, and I was so excited to share that knowledge with everybody, right? And that's how I still am with every episode. I'm so excited to share with everyone, and to share perspectives. And now the podcast I've been thinking as a whole, as a brand, has kind of evolved, and it's not just about like fun facts or things like historical things or whatever you might not have thought about. Although I love that. I love doing that still. And I actually do that still on the Patreon. So if you're not a Patreon subscriber, if you miss those things, being, regular episodes, check out the Patreon. Very blatant plug for myself. Check out the Patreon because I make very, very little off of it. And frankly, most of it goes back into the podcast. But yeah, check out the Patreon, and that is where you'll find those kind of more fun episodes. And I keep those shorter too, typically. So yeah, I'm doing a series right now on early Christianity and psilocybin. So there you go. But anyway, those fun facts and just that sharing of knowledge, that is so much fun for me. And that's why I started the podcast, right? But now it's evolved into this place where I'm not just sharing knowledge and research, but I'm also sharing perspectives. Which is really, really important to me, because it's really important to me that the podcast be a safe space where someone can learn about things and ways of thinking that are perhaps outside of their normal purview, and they can listen to the podcast, or they can watch it on YouTube or whatever, and they can experience these thoughts and ideas in a context where they are in the car, they're in their home, they're, doing the dishes, whatever, and they're safe. And they can listen to these different ideas and not feel like they're being challenged, right? Like, not feel like they're being argued with, not feel like they're being told they're wrong necessarily. They're listening to these people's experiences, and hopefully that, even if maybe their mind doesn't change about something, or even if, whatever, XYZ, they're getting exposure to something that is outside of their norm. And that is really what is important to me, is getting people exposed to people and things and ideas outside of that circle that they would normally experience. So it is just, wow, it's so much fun for me. And it very much feels like a mission for me, like something kind of I'm meant to be doing, is helping people think and love and experience in new ways. And I love doing it, right? And these people that I share on the podcast and their wide variety of perspectives, I mean, witches, beer influencers, yoga instructors, comedians, authors, content creators, friends of mine, people who have become friends thanks to the podcast. Some of these are people I probably never would have met at all if they hadn't given me the opportunity to share their story with you guys, with my listenership. I'm just so grateful for the experiences, and for the acquaintanceships and friendships that I have developed out of this as well. And those have certainly changed my life forever. And I will be honest, I really don't take enough time to recognize that. I don't sit with my accomplishments long enough to really enjoy exactly how beautiful these relationships I have made are. And I'm so stinking grateful for these incredible friendships and relationships I've developed along the way. They're just really amazing. But I do try to recognize regularly how the stories they share, their life experiences, there's a very large, loud bird on my deck, I think. I'm so sorry. The ideas that they share with me and in turn with you all, those do change my life. They do affect how I live my everyday life. Being mindful is something I've discussed with quite a few different guests. Mindfulness and spirituality is something I've discussed with a lot of my guests. Well, whether it be Christianity or finding spirituality elsewhere or whatever, I have so many different ideas now to draw on to create my own worldview, and that's really beautiful. And I've traveled the world and I've been able to experience a lot of things. Certainly not everything that the world has to offer. I hope that eventually I can experience everything the world has to offer. But not everybody has that ability, and also not everybody has that real desire to get out there and do a lot of things. So that's why, the podcast, why I've been thinking as a brand is so important to me, because it's a place where I can bring things to people, like I said, in a safe space and somewhere they're comfortable. They might not want to travel the world, and they might not want to be exposed to everything, and that's okay, I suppose. I don't get it, but I guess it's okay if that's how you want to live your life. But I can expose them to a little bit. I can use my gift of gab that has been passed down to me through generations of talkative women, mostly. No, my mother's side of the family, very, very talkative. Pause for coffee. I can use this gift of just being able to talk to a brick wall, and I can share and expose and help people hopefully see that the world is not just what sits directly outside of their window or outside of their door. I can help them see that there is so much more than just what they experience, and hopefully open their mind and heart in new and beautiful ways, right? I mean, that's the mission, that's the goal. And every episode, I get reminded that my experiences are not universal experiences, and that everyone's reality is unique. And it's so beautiful for me, if nobody else, to experience all of these things. I just hope that a few people find similar beauty in what we're creating here at I've Been Thinking. And I hope that my guests enjoy their time here and that they enjoy what we create together. And I hope that my listeners enjoy what we create for them. I do, because it's if you can't tell, it's for the listener. Like, I love talking to all these people and challenging myself and doing all of these things and finding inspiration and motivation and perspective. And I love it. I love it. But I don't do it for me. I do it because I'm passionate about it, but it's not for me. It's for the world. It's for whoever listens. And I really love that. I think it's a really beautiful way to kind of approach art. And ultimately, for me, this podcast, I've Been Thinking, as a brand, is a piece of art. It is this giant piece of expression and creativity and, again, a place to share. And that's what art is expressing and sharing ideas. So, thank you all for listening to me rant and ramble in this episode. Thank you all for giving me the opportunity to share 99 episodes with you. And thank you all for listening. I will talk at you guys in July with episode 100. So make sure that you are subscribed, following wherever you listen to the podcast. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram or Facebook at I've Been Thinking Pod. Now there's an airplane outside. Jeez. At I've Been Thinking Pod on Instagram, or I've Been Thinking with Elena Grace on Facebook. Y'all, living next to an Air Force base really do be wild. That was literally a jet that's flying over my condo right now. And make sure that you do check out the Patreon. There are options for everybody. So if you want those kind of fun episodes, that's all in video content form on Patreon. Patreon.com/I've Been Thinking Pod. So give us a check. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening and for giving me the opportunity to do this. I'm crying. Okay. I love you guys. Bye.
Hello, you sentient ball of stardust. My name is Casey Davis. I'm a therapist, and I'm an author of the book How to Keep House While Drowning, where I talk about ways to make it a little bit easier to take care of yourself when you're overwhelmed, stressed, have mental health issues, physical health issues, or maybe you're just in a hard season of life. Maybe you're looking for a place that you can come and listen to some practical advice. This is a podcast for all of the self-help rejects. We're going to talk about skills for survival and self-kindness. And I'm going to leave the pop psychology at the door. I promise not to tell you to meditate or to journal. We're just going to give you some really insightful conversations with hopefully some practical advice. So I don't believe you need to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I don't want you to just try harder, and I don't believe that laziness exists. So join me over on Struggle Care, where we can find compassionate solutions that help us function a little bit better.
Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.